Now, from Kansas's news leader, this is 12 News This Morning.
Good morning and thanks for joining us. More rain and storms on the way for Kansas, so let's go ahead and get on over to Storm Team 12 meteorologist Jake Dunn for a quick check of your forecast. Morning, Jake.
Good morning. Yeah, just like yesterday, waking up into the low 80s.
All right, Jake, thank you. 4 people are hurt, 2 of them with critical injuries after a car crash southeast of Wichita. That crash happened just after 7:30 last night at 79th Street South and Greenwich. Sedgwick County deputies tell us a car headed east on 79th failed to stop at a stop sign and rear-ended an SUV. That SUV then spun and hit a third car. We asked a deputy at the scene if this is a common issue at county intersections.
It's not super common, but I mean, it is something that happens in almost all of our four-way stop intersections out in the county.
All of the injuries involved people in the SUV that was rear-ended, including 2 people with critical injuries and 2 others in serious condition. The sheriff's office says the crash is still under investigation. It is now legal to back into parking spaces in downtown Wichita. Last night, the city council voted to repeal a nearly 20-year-old law. Thomas Lynch talked with the viewer who brought this concern to light 2 months ago. Martinez says he hopes to get off with a warning, but if not, he's glad he was able to educate the public and drive change. A former Kansas priest accused of stealing from his church is now out on bond. Richard Story made his first appearance in court yesterday. He's accused of stealing $160,000 from the Couree of Ars Church in Leawood. He was released on a $25,000 bond. A judge also granted a request to lift his computer and internet restrictions. He's due back in court on July 15th. The Kansas Board of Regents is considering offering accelerated bachelor's degrees. The board could vote on that change this month. The plan includes allowing students to earn a bachelor's degree with as few as 90 credit hours. Right now, those degrees require at least 120 credit hours. Supporters say the 3-year path could cut tuition fees and housing costs and get graduates into the workforce faster. The board says it's studied the possibility since last fall when the pilot program was proposed. Regents could vote as early as mid-June. Last night was another big primary night for 6 states across the U.S. Jared Hill has a look at how some of those races turned out. And another race being watched closely out of New Jersey. CBS News projects Democrat Rebecca Bennett won the primary in her state's 7th congressional district. She will face off against Republican Representative Tom Keene Jr., who has been absent from the job for nearly 3 months. House Republicans are watching that race closely because some reports are calling it a toss-up. Back in Kansas, people in Wichita's College Hill neighborhood are concerned over a strip of concrete that runs down a popular hill. That strip appears to be where the sidewalk ends, and some worry it poses a safety concern. We talked with the city and found out, well, it's not a sidewalk, and you aren't supposed to walk on it. It's what's called a flume, and it's there to channel runoff in a direction that helps prevent erosion. City Council member Joseph Shepard says he's been working with the College Hill neighborhood and Public Works for several months to find a solution.
This is how local government works best, by working with the neighbors and our city experts to come together to find common ground solutions. And so we're proud to say that we've been working with College Hill residents and neighbors over the past 2.5 months to both identify some of the concerns that neighbors had and have come to a solution on redoing the flume.
The initial cost to rebuild that flume, $2,700. Right now, there's no timeline for when that project might start. We're learning more about a recent senior prank at Newton High School. The school district sharing these photos showing some of the damage around the school. That includes eggs being thrown in the cafeteria into an air vent and baby oil sprayed on hallway floors. The district says staff spent 6 hours and more than $900 to clean up the mess. Newton police say criminal trespass charges are likely. In Salina, the long-troubled Ambassador Hotel is one step closer to closing down. 2 years after the historic hotel was deemed a dangerous structure, the city approving a contract to finish the job. Gabriela Hernandez has more. Right now, city officials don't have a timeline for the project, but say they're glad they can finally move forward. Also in Salina, check this out. The mural at the Cozy Inn is just about finished. Work on that mural started back up in April after being halted in 2023. The city stopped this project because it classified the display on the building as a sign, which falls under stricter regulations and permits. Cozy Inn co-owner Stephen Howard sued the city, arguing the move violates the First Amendment. Last year, a judge ruled the city cannot stop Howard from completing that mural. The city is appealing the judge's ruling to clarify the difference between a sign and a mural, but Howard was allowed to finish the painting. The weather we've had this year has led to a bad wheat harvest. Some farmers say they're seeing up to 20% lower yield because of drought and freezes during the spring. Crop disease has also been a problem. One expert at Kansas State University says the worst areas include parts of central and southwest Kansas. Some communities are weeks ahead when they typically harvest. The wheat has low test weights, and that can usually lead to lower quality flour. Elevators may even reject the crop.
But this is what is frustrating about this season, is because the entire state of Kansas was off to a great start. We had good rainfall across the state. We had decent temperatures, so the crop emerged on time. The crop had an excellent stand, and there were enough temperatures out there accumulated in the fall that we had a pretty decent canopy. We had 3 to 5 tillers kind of all over the state, so a really good crop going into the winter. The hopes were that
recent rain has been helpful for some, but farmers worry the rain may help weeds grow, and that can create a challenge for the harvest. Coming up on 12 News this morning, will we get more of that rain? There's some of it across the state expected today through Thursday, and even more chances ramping up this weekend. Jake has a closer look at your forecast after the break. Also, later on, a taste of the World Cup right here in Wichita. We're going to tell you all about next week's FIFA Global Fan Fest next on 12 News this morning.